Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Teresa, the Crafty Grams. As you can see, I have before me a variety of papers in different sizes and shapes. So what I thought we would do today is sort of a bulk make. I can't do a mass make because it would be like 4 things made. In case you hadn't noticed, that's about all I can manage. But we're going to take a variety of sizes and shapes of paper and make them into, most of them will be made into this basic envelope shape. And if you use a square sheet of paper, no matter the size, it's going to come out as a square envelope. So these are just some Velcro, wowzers, vellum sheets that I had gotten off of, I don't know, Temu or that other one, I don't remember, AliExpress. And these came off of a pad, 4x4 pad from Prima. So, as I said, they will be basically the shape we're going for is a square so that we can fold it into this. If you have a piece of paper that is rectangular rather than square, then, and you want it to become a square, scoot over everybody, then you fold it thusly. Fold the bottom corner over to meet the edge as straight as you can. And then you cut this piece off. Let me get my chopper. Cut this piece off. And the piece left behind will be square, or in my case, square-ish. Square adjacent. Like almost a square, but not really. So part of why I don't like doing that is because the crease then is left in the middle. You do want to fold the paper so that you find the middle, but you don't crease it all the way, just sort of smush it right there in the middle, and do that both ways. I mean, you don't have to do this, you could eyeball it, but it's just better for me if I do it this way. And then you take the corners in to meet the middle, like so. Wow, can't even see it now. So there's going to be called the middle, and then that's the side that's going to be for real. You do that on both sides of the paper. Come on, paper, cooperate. This thin brown paper, again, I don't know where I got it, but I'm sure they sell it on Amazon. It's called onion paper, and I have no idea. Well, other than the fact that it's thin like an onion skin, it's called onion paper. And I don't have a corner or a, envelope punchy thing. So I just sort of fold the edges up. I fold them a little bit up from the actual corner. And I don't know why I do that, but I do that. And then sometimes I will come in and snip this point off. But I have to be careful not to be too aggressive with that, because it should not come down any lower than where the other corners meet. And then you just fold this one down the same as you folded the bottom up. Only this one, of course, will be left as the envelope. Boom, there you go. I also do like to take the small corner rounder and round that, just because I like to do it that way. Right, so that's the basic fold. I'll do that one more time with a square piece of paper. And like I said, you fold it in half just to find the middle, pinch it, and then do it in the other direction. This paper's a bit thick for this, but it keeps the folds really well. There you are. And again, I found the middle, and bring the two sides in, whichever sides you decide. I have never done this with directional paper, so you might want to make a note of that, if you have directional paper, you figure out which direction you want which to be. Because usually, I mean, you might decide that, this is the front and you want the directional to be on this side, but usually when you're putting an envelope in a junk journal, that's the side that gets glued down. So this might then become your priority for the direction to be correct. So as I said, I try not to use directional pages because I don't know whether it's going to be put in a pocket or glued into a journal or what. So again, this is thickish paper. So what I would do with this one is, since I don't have the punch thing, I just cut on the fold lines in each direction on all four corners. And that works just as well. And it's just to keep the bulk down. It makes a neater, finished looking corner to the project. So this one, let me snip this off a bit. I wonder if I should round them instead of snipping them. That way it would sort of ensure that I don't get too aggressive with cutting that piece off. So this, rather than making it an envelope, I'm going to use it as sort of a tag pocket. So I'm going to take this, the top of this, and round it as usual. And then punch a hole in here for either, I don't know what I will end up putting in there, whether I'm going to use it as a, as an actual, like put a brad in it so I can attach other things to it, or if it's going to be layered with other elements, other tags, or what. So I would just, in that case, I would just get my pokey tool and put a hole in that there, just to remind myself that that's how I wanted to use it and not to close it up. So I'll put a hole in it about there, just like I said, to remind myself that I want that to be a hole. And then, then the rest of the bit is to fold it, glue it closed. Let's get the cap off of her. Haven't used it since yesterday. So, and then I like to go on this side so I don't overlap it or whatever. Remembering to not put glue at the very top. All right, so there's that. And I will let that dry. It's not as straight as it could be, but then I would put, regular things that you would put in a pocket, a journal card, some tags, whatever kind of ephemera in there. And as I said, either glue it down on a page, or you could even put a hole through the page you're going to put it on and make it a swing and have more room for journaling on that page. So as I said, I'll leave it pretty basic until I know what journal, what the circumstances are around its actual use. I don't like to customize too much. If I'm not putting it right into a journal, I don't like to, you know, to make it a certain color or a certain style or a certain anything that I might then not be able to use in any journal. I don't like to specify anything until I'm ready. So that's that one. That's the open one. There's a tiny one. I'm going to go ahead and glue that one closed as well. These are super simple, and you know, if you have everything sort of prepped beforehand, the papers cut to the right size or whatever, you could just sit and fold and glue while you're doing something else, like so. And of course, I would ink them. All right, so what do you do when you have a rectangular piece of paper? This is something else you can do. You will not exactly find the corner, but you'll make a point by finding the middle there. You know, because you don't have the square to use to make your point, to get your point across. So then you'll fold the in like you're making a paper airplane. Why is that not working right? That's crazy. I don't understand why this happens to me. Yeah, I don't know. Strange magic. I mean, if you know, you know. If you're that old, you know. If you're not, you don't. All right, so what I usually do when I fold things like that, because it is rather bulky, I just cut them like this. And of course, they're not going to be anywhere near perfect or even or anything like that. But I will cut them. I almost cut this side too short to glue, but I will glue it anyway. You'll probably know where I'm going with this already, but I'm going to pretend. Let's pretend nobody knows about this. So I'm going to want the envelope to end up sort of there-ish. Again, not to interfere with the crease to fold this down or the getting something in it or out of the pocket. And you can usually, this is what I like to do with this. You fold it, fold the bottom of it up. Decide how big you want it to be. And I have made these so super tiny. And of course, with my craft rooms in chaos, I couldn't find examples. But I've made them so tiny that they are what's used as or on a cluster or, you know, whatever. But they're just adorable. And then, of course, if you don't want to leave this, you know, fold out, the only reason I do it is because I like to have the extra journaling space in there. But again, this, for one thing, this paper's too thick for all of that. And I'll probably just cut it off and make it this piece that I cut off, make it a journal card, trim it down a little bit so that it can go in an envelope this size, roughly this size. So, and then just fold this like you would a regular envelope. Boy, that stripe is not lining up, and it's a little bit dizzy making. Okay, so there's that. And then, of course, you don't glue any of this down. Or just edge it and maybe add some, either some lined paper or stamp some actual lines on the inside of it. And then just put something on the envelope flap to decorate it a little bit, maybe. Wow. yes, the sound effects are necessary. But to weigh the envelope flat down a little bit so that it won't stay open. So what I thought was, I made these very simple stitched. They're not even really stitched. They're wound 3D flowers that I made. I saw it on Reels, I think, on YouTube, so I have no idea who actually did it, but it was a needle work person who did it, and these I saw them do, and I thought that's way, way easier than it looks. So I made a couple, and yeah, they're super easy. I mean, they're so easy, even I can do them. But yeah, I could cut the fabric away from it, and glue it on that flap there. And all it is you make like a three-pronged, I don't know, wheel. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I'm trying to cut this and not cut the threads that actually hold it together. Okay, so with a little bit of ink, that'll look just fine. So, of course you could do them straight onto the page, but I was just experimenting, seeing how complicated or how simple they actually are to make, and they are quite simple to make, to my surprise. So let's see. Oh, I didn't ink it. Man, poo. Let's see how bad it looks just as is. Won't stick to my finger. Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. I'm quite proud of myself for that. So yeah, it's not weighing anything down, but it looks cute. What you do to start it is thread your needle, of course. Move that out of my way and get a piece of pencil. A piece of pencil? Get a pencil. And then the first, like the base of it is just a three prongs, and try to get the 3 prongs to be the same size, the same distance from the center. And then you sort of stitch them into place. I just go into the middle from the outside, go into the middle, and then you just weave the thread around those 3 prongs and keep them a little bit flat so that they don't come up above the last round. And there you go. Boom. A flower. It's a flower. So if anyone wants a video on how I've done that, let me know. I'm sure there's a million videos already out there, but okay, let's see what else. I want to make this into one of these, but I want to show you how small, let me use this one, how small you can make these envelopes, and they're just adorable. And like I said, you can use them to decorate the outside of a pocket, or layer them up on a cluster. Just a million different ways to use them. That's why I like this simple fold. It's very versatile. Okay, so I'm not even going to fold that one up. I'm going to cut this off because that's not going to be very good journal space. I don't know. I'm just cutting it off randomly and see how we go from there. that's not horrible proportions. Fold that down, glue it on something. You can glue up the sides, put a little thumb notch in there if you have a small enough punch. You could probably actually use a one-hole punch to make a thumb notch in it. And then I have these really cute tiny tags cut aparts that came in this Prima journal pad. And I thought, how would I ever use them? Well, this is how I would use them, right? So, sorry, you're gonna suffer through me doing a little bit of fussy cutting, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna cut off some of the handwriting there, but it's okay. Can't talk and cut at the same time. But if I practice, maybe I'll get better. Like that. And that is a bit tiny. Like that could be a very cute decoration on the front. Cute. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can put a thumb notch in it. I gotta cut this corner that sticks up. Even with a paper trimmer, I can't cut yeah, even with a paper cutter, I can't cut a straight line. Okay, so there's a tiny little thumb notch. Isn't that cute? It's just cute. Get my ink and dauber. I moved everything off this workspace to put my mat down, and my mat is too whatever wide for it, but I'm making do until the rest of the floor is finished. Yeah, we're just making do. We're making do, making stuff. Okay, a little inking. And again, this could be tucked into another pocket. It could be put on a cluster. It could be put on the front of a pocket to be the decoration. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with this fold. Super easy. Super easy and super useful, I think. So yeah, the video the other day was about another just useful folds of things that we largely don't make anymore. And this is one of them. See, I'm finding all kinds of stuff that I used to make while I am switching up my craft spaces, because I'm going through everything before I move it, or soon after I move it into the new space. I'm going through everything and seeing if there's anything I can purge. But I'm also finding really, really cute ideas, things I used to make. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. I will ink it up. It's just too cute. And then I know what else I can do, what else I can put in there. Put that little guy in there, and then where's the stuff? Where is the stuff I coffee dyed yesterday? I want one of those little tags. I could use one of these little tags. I'm going to do my best to ink it. And then ink this. I'm really upset that at least this should have coffee dyed, right? It's just cotton or whatever. I can hear you. So here's my workaround for that. Right. Lovely-ish. That's a mighty big string for that for that little tag. But I am also going to find a little floral stamp. Oops, don't faint. It's not really floral, it's you know, like greenery, I guess. Foliage. Yep, that's the word, foliage. And I'll put that there. Well, got a little too enthusiastic. I hate it when I put the frame of the stamp on there. It really aggravates me. It aggravates me. But that's all right. We will all survive. I will take this tag, and I actually might cut this string down because that's just a bit ridiculous. So I'm going to cut this off, cut the knot off, cut it in half, maybe in quarters. Let's see. Yeah, I think a quarter of it would do. Cut there, and cut there, and then use this like this. Yeah. Get my tweezers. Gotta get my tweezers out for this. Put my tweezers through the hoop, and then grab the ends of the string and pull it through. Cute. All right. Now it's probably going to be too big. Yep, it is. But that is kind of cute, though. Let's see if I can put a different kind of flower punch on the envelope. Oh, here's a butterfly. I can put a butterfly. Patch? Did I say patch? Stamp. It's called a stamp. Let's see if I can put this on the envelope without messing it up. These have not been used much, so I just want to check it out. Cute. Dang it, I did it again. Oh well. Oh well. Let's put everything back in, and I can use that. See, that would look cute on an envelope or a tag of some sort. Put more decorations on it when you are ready to customize it. Let's see, what else? Oh, there's those. These are so cute. I love that paper pad, but I don't think it's available anymore. I always say this, I wish I had gotten more, but then I've been hoarding it for so long that they don't make it anymore. So it's just a lose-lose situation when you hoard your papers. Yeah, so look, this would be about the size for that. Or that tag could stick out the top of it. All kinds of possibilities. All kinds of possibilities. Now let's do a, where's the vellum? Well, I had vellum. I saw them. I had vellum. Did I use it all? I only brought 2 pages? No, here. How did it get over there with the finished ones? Yeah, because this is a bit different animal. And I said I'd try not to use, directional paper. But this is directional. So if I fold it in the middle, or thereabouts, the butterfly's either gonna fold in and be lost like that, or these 2 sides are gonna fold in and the butterfly's just gonna be able to show its butt. Let's see. I don't want to crease it yet because once you crease vellum, there's a white line in it, or at least this vellum. And that's not enough of it. So if we do it this way, we'll be able to distinguish that that's a flower. Problems, problems, problems. Okay, here's the solution. We're not going to use that one. I don't want to mess up the butterfly. I know it's silly, 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 isn't it? And that one has a very pretty lady on the side of it. Oi! The vellum is all directional. The vellum goes in all directions. But no, it does not. It only goes in one direction. But we're going to use this one because it's the least directional, I guess. It's not as obvious. Let's put it that way. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Like so. And like so. Fold this bottoms up. I'm gonna have to cut the corners. Cut these corners. See what I mean about once you crease the vellum? I mean, you just can't uncrease that stuff. So I'm going to cut these corners off. I know the punch does it a little bit differently, but I don't know. This is good enough. It serves its purpose. Okay, that's that done. Now, which one did I say was going to be the bottom? I think it's supposed to go, I don't know. I don't know. I might be completely and totally wrong. I am. Look at there. Silly, silly girl. And the small, size small. There we go. it's a little different working with vellum because of the, you know, it's, yes, it's sheer, but as soon as those folds are made, that's not going to go away. So you have to be sure that you've got it right enough so that you can live with it. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I know we all want things to be perfect, but I have never reached those heady heights, and I think I have mostly given up. I am a Virgo, and I'm supposed to be a perfectionist, but I've never gotten anything perfect, so these days I try to convince myself that practice is what we're going for. Practice may not make perfect, but it's some progress. Progress over perfection. That's what I'm striving for. Because if you're a perfectionist, you can very often do nothing because you know in your mind that you won't get it perfect. So rather than try, you just don't do anything. So I am trying my very best to strive for progress over perfection. And that's where junk journaling comes in so much. Helps so much with my mental well-being because I can do something crafty. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to worry about messing up because it's junk journaling. It's not supposed to be perfect. Right. So there's that one made. And this I would, you know, obviously it would not need any decoration or the bare minimum decoration. And then you can put tags, journal cards, just paper for journal spot in. Yes, very, very, very useful. It can go in a pocket. It can be the pocket. It's fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Wow. That page did not want to tear. Right. So, as I said, you can make this out of any kind of paper. Square paper is obviously going to give you a square envelope. That's a piece of tea-dyed paper. I don't know if it's square or not. It's not, but we're going to pretend it is. And we'll see what happens to our shape. Right. So this is not going to be the same. You can't pull both of the sides all the way to the middle. You just have to pull them to where they meet each other, sort of evenly. And then get these folds straight. And that's where you get the straight lines. It's not going to be, see, that one's already going to be wonky. Let's see. What am I doing wrong? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Maybe they're not supposed to meet in the middle. Oh, nope, still going to be wonky. Yeah, that's just going to be wonky. Huh. Thought you could do it with a rectangle. Obviously, I was mistaken. Right. So, let's make it a square. See how much we got cut off. Not much. Not much. cut that off, and now it is square-ish. And we can start again. Yeah, I'm cheating. Square-ish. Close enough. This one's going to look like an origami piece of paper before it's over. Don't crease it all the way. Didn't I say that? I said that. Self does not listen very well, does she? No, she does not. Right. Let's do it properly this time. Yeah. Sorry, I move my work around a lot, and I try not to do that on camera, but it's just a hard habit to break. Here. And down here. This one's much easier to fold because it's much less bulky, for one thing. I am going to go ahead and cut off the little corners, the very tiny little corners. Like so. Casting shadows on myself. We'll see how it folds. I may have to cut some more off of them. We shall see. No, that's the top. Nice. There we go. And again, around the peaks. Yeah, I like doing that much better, even on the bottom flap, than cutting it across, because I have been known to cut them across too low for them to cover the center. And I don't like to do that. So let's ink this one up before we glue it. Just do the inside of that flap that's going to be open occasionally. I don't know why I'm doing all the sides, but some of the sides have to be done. So I do them all just to make sure. Okay. Okay, glue it down, glue it in place. There we are. Let's see if we have something here. It's not going to let me close it. That one might. Let's cut this out real quick. I gotta get it off of the paper. We're having really rough weather right now down here in Georgia. And every time I hear noise, I look outside the window to see see what it's doing out there. That wasn't the weather. That was a noisy truck. We thankfully don't have many noisy trucks that live here. But, you know, trucks come and go. Definitely fit in that way. Where's that other one? Let's just see what you say. I'm going to try and cut this one with the border, but I can't see the border. And once I start cutting it, the border disappears. Yeah. And then I can see all the border that I missed. Right. Give you a little zhuzh round. Nope. Have to take the border off because it doesn't fit. Okay, so let's just do it all again. Let's just do it all over again. That's what happens when you go rogue and don't measure things. When you don't measure twice, cut once, you end up cutting a couple of times. But you know, whatever. It's more fun this way. To me, anyway. To me, math is a 4-letter word for a reason. Just saying. Well, I know that doesn't work in England because it's maths, not math. Which actually makes more sense because the word is mathematics. So, never. But here in America, it's a 4-letter word. And there, that could be quite cute. Tucked into a pocket. Decorate it up on the front here. And then glue it down. Let's see, we could use some of this to decorate. I'm gonna take one of these square ones and one of those tag-shaped ones and make a mini collage with the mini pieces of ephemera. Take this darker one just for a little bit of contrast. And it'll still be very neutral for wherever it gets used. And then I'll be able to sort of customize it, coordinate it with whatever theme or colors in the journal it's going in. Let's give them a little run around. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be cute. Let's use this because this is a bit thickish paper. And we're going to set it in there a little cattywampus. And then this guy. Like that. Cute. I think it's quite cute. And then if it's gonna be in and out of a pocket or not attached to a page, then I can decorate that side of it as well. I might as well go ahead and give it a little zhuzh too. Right, super cute. That was pretty fun. So, I hope you enjoyed that little lesson. Lesson. I ain't teaching anybody anything they don't already know, but I can pretend, okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Got some inspiration. Back to basics is never a bad thing for when you're stuck and don't know what to do. It's a really good place to start. So, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.